ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you here, deep from the swamps of Jersey. We got a great show coming up for you. Gambling has been around since this country has started, and women have played an important role in the growth of the gambling industry. And now a new book has documented the role women have played in the gambling business of this country. It's called That Expletive Broad, and it's written by gaming attorney Jennifer Gaynor. Coming up, we're on Talk with Jennifer about the early female pioneers of gambling in this country all the way up to the present day. It's an incredible book about the women in the world of gambling and casinos. So stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of September 25th, 2023. The U.S. commercial gaming industry set a new revenue record in July. According to the American Gaming Association, revenue hit $5.39 billion for the month, which is a new record. That figure also represents a 5.9% increase from July of last year. Revenue generated from casino slot machines and table games also set a monthly record with $4.4 billion in revenue reported. Police in Nevada have charged Brandon Rashad Johnson, who is a hotel operations manager at the Aria, with stealing from the casino. The police are alleging that Johnson stole more than $770,000 between July 2022 and July 2023 and used the money on shopping sprees, spa visits, private jets, and purchasing a house. Johnson turned himself into police on September 1st and faces several charges. And finally, Chicago's first casino opened. Bally's temporary gaming hall at the Medina Temple features 750 slot machines, 55 table games, a cafe, and 2 restaurants. The property is expected to operate at least 2 years, while the permanent casino is being constructed at the Old Chicago Tribune publishing plant. Can't wait to check it out. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio. For more than 30 years, SCCG Management has set a standard of excellence unmatched in the global gaming industry. From startups to established companies, SCCG Management and its team of experienced leaders help each of their clients navigate the ever-changing, fast-moving business of gaming in all its forms. Sports betting, iGaming, esports, casino technology, SCCG Management provides a global network to connect its clients with the right strategic partners for growth on a global scale. SCCG also works with entrepreneurs, providing capital and resources to assist in the development of new and innovative products and platforms. Whether you're looking to enter the U.S. market, expand your reach to other parts of the world, or establish your business in the global gaming industry, look to SCCG Management for the guidance you need. SCCGmanagement.com. Expert solutions for strategic success. House of Cards is brought to you by the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Unlock your best self with the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Unlock your best self with the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. The Life Hack Pack contains 2 bottles of Morning Recovery, 2 bottles of Dreamwell, and 2 bottles of Liquid Focus. The Life Hack Pack is specially designed to help you live your life not just better, but smarter. Morning Recovery is designed to be taken while drinking or up to an hour after your last drink. Dreamwell is designed to be taken 30 minutes before you're ready to fall asleep. And Liquid Focus is designed to be taken 30 minutes before you have to lock in and get stuff done. Supercharge your productivity at home or work with the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Use promo code Radio15 at morelabs.com to get 15% off your first purchase of the Life Hack Pack or any of their other great products. That's promo code Radio15 to take advantage of this great promo of 15% off your first purchase at morelabs.com. The Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Drink smart with Morning Recovery, sleep easy with Dreamwell, and get more done with Liquid Focus. You can finally do it all with help from More Labs.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Lose track of time in those casinos. There's no windows, there's no clocks, and you never walk away from the table when you're on a heater.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you. Gambling has been a part of this country since it was founded, and women have played a crucial role in the growth of gambling. A great new book has documented the stories of some of these incredible women that broke barriers and helped shape the gambling business today. The book is titled That Expletive Broad, and I want to talk to the author right now, gaming attorney Jennifer Gaynor. Jennifer, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
I got to tell you, first, I love the title of your book, That Expletive Broad. How did that become the title of your book?
That's actually one of my favorite stories about the book. So as I was researching the various women that I was going to feature in the book, one of them, named Deborah Nutton, she was one of the first women to be a craps dealer on the Las Vegas Strip. And at a very early age, she became a pit boss at a strip casino, and some of the gentlemen that she worked with were less than thrilled that she was there. And so they would refer to her as that blank broad, something that, for a while was a bit of a challenge for her. She actually hid in the ladies' room during, break times to avoid seeing these men in the break room. But eventually she went on, like I said, to become a very young pit boss. And then she went on to be, a top executive for MGM and the Wynn. And had a stunning career in the gaming industry.
I've never read a book like this, and it was so great to read about the women in gambling. I mean, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, as you know, I've been a gaming attorney here in Las Vegas for more than 15 years. And, year after year, you go to the gaming conferences. I know you've been there.
Sure.
And you see lots of what we call manels. And that's, panels consisting mostly of men. And so I was at a gaming conference a couple of years ago, and, I was flipping through, looking at what our panels would be that day, and I saw manel after manel, and, it was a little bit disheartening. But then I looked around the room, and I saw some amazing women in gaming, women like Sandra Douglas Morgan, who was then the chair of the Nevada Gaming Control Board, my good friend Ellen Whittemore, who is now the general counsel at the Wynn, and I realized there was a lot of kick-ass women in that room, and there had been throughout the history of gaming, and I really wanted to make sure that their stories were told and shared.
I think it's great how you organized your book, too. You took us from the early days of gambling through corporate America and then with the women who worked in government and regulation. I especially love the story of the women in the early days of gambling because I have to admit, when I think of the Wild West and the card rooms west of the Mississippi, I really don't think of women in the gambling business. But there were several. I mean, for example, you have the story of Lottie Deno, who was incredibly interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about Lottie and some of the other women who were literally the real pioneers of women in gambling in this country?
Yeah, Lottie, she was a great story. So she was, she had a very privileged childhood upbringing. Her father was a plantation owner, and he also raised race horses. But he had two daughters. He had no sons. So when he went on business trips, he would take Lottie with him often. And he was a gambler, so he would take her with him to the casinos in New Orleans, New York, even over in Europe. And along the way, he taught her how to play. So she actually, at a very young age, as a teenager, became a bit of a card shark. And this actually came in super handy for her when her father, unfortunately, perished. He was fighting in the Civil War, and he actually died, I think, in the first battle he fought in. So that left her mother with two daughters and a plantation to run at a time when it was hard to, find men to come and work on their plantation. So her family sent her off to the city, to Detroit, hoping that where they had family friends, hoping that she could find a man to marry who she could then bring back and could run the plantation for the family. But of course, that's not what Lottie did. She went to Detroit. She went on the party circuit, and then she started gambling at card rooms and playing poker, and realized that she could make a lot of money doing that. Actually, enough money that she was able to support her mother and her sister with the proceeds she won from gambling. And then she went on to, have a very stellar career in the gambling industry.
Another part of the book I found really enlightening, because I've really never thought of it that way, were the women who actually owned casinos. And one of those inspirational stories you document was the incredible life of Sarah Ann Knight Preddy. I mean, tell us a little bit about her, because she impacted Las Vegas, she impacted the gambling business, and she was really influential even outside of the gambling business.
She was. Sarah and Nifredi, she's a very inspirational figure here in Las Vegas, especially in the African American community. She started off as the dealer in the card rooms in the segregated west side of Las Vegas. And I actually really enjoyed getting the opportunity to write about the west side and how Las Vegas, once upon a time was segregated. So you would have, famous African Americans who could perform on the Strip, but they couldn't stay in the Strip casinos. So there was actually a really active after-party nightlife on the west side where a lot of these performers, African American and white alike, would come and spend their time after hours, gambling in the casinos and the gaming parlors on the west side. But anyway, that's where she started off working in the gaming industry, because it was a very difficult time for her as a Black woman to find, a career elsewhere in Las Vegas where it was segregated. And she went on to become the first woman to get a gaming license in the state of Nevada. And, she took that experience and she became involved with the NAACP and, civil rights groups in Las Vegas and across Nevada. And she did a lot to advance African-American people. For one, she ran for office. She was the first female African-American to win a primary running for city council in Las Vegas. She ended up not winning. She went out of politics, decided it wasn't for her, and she went back to, what she knew, which was gaming and running other businesses. She was quite an entrepreneur and quite an inspiration for many.
You're listening to House of Cards on the Sportsmap Radio Network. Stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
With costs going up, Adam & Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry! You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly.
Ding dong, Drizzly.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Where was the house? Where was the House of Cards?
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you here. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with gaming attorney and author of That Expletive Broad, Jennifer Gaynor. You know, I found that aspect incredibly interesting. I was wondering, was it just the prejudice of Nevada at that time to keep her away from certain areas of the gaming business, or was it the laws of Nevada really keeping the women, especially Sarah Ann, down? Because, she wasn't allowed to work certain places, yet she was allowed to have a casino license, and she owned a casino. What was going on there?
Well, that was in northern Nevada, versus in Las Vegas, where there were various rules and ordinances. For example, they after she had become a dealer, they came up with an ordinance, prohibiting women from being dealers in strip casinos in the city of Las Vegas. And, that was, I think, prompted because a lot of, women at the time, they saw their men going off to casinos and gambling. And if there were female dealers, they were afraid they would lead the men astray and tempt them to gamble even more and perhaps cheat on them. So, women as dealers, women in the casinos working, were very much frowned upon by society. So that was something that she had to overcome, in addition to, the general segregation of Las Vegas at the time.
It seems that one of the areas in the casino and gambling business that women are underrepresented is at the executive level, but there are women who did achieve incredible success at the executive level. I mean, one of the women I was thinking of, and you documented in the book, was Virginia McDowell. Tell us a little something about her and the other women that have reached very successful levels in the gambling business at the executive level.
Yeah, and a lot of times, I found one thing I found interesting while I was writing this book was, I think in a lot of cases it was never an intention, to become an executive in the gaming industry. Virginia McDowell, for example, she started off, as a journalism student, working in radio and television. But then she saw that gaming was introduced in, your hometown, New Jersey, and wanted to get involved in the industry at the very beginning. So she sent out, because she had become an expert in marketing and, TV and radio, and that was her major in college, was journalism. She was attracted to marketing directors at gaming properties, I believe it was the Tropicana, and they hired her to do marketing, and that's how she got into the gaming industry. But she ended up meeting some men along the way who were really mentors to her and taught her a lot about the actual operational side of gaming. And brought her along, one of the first major things she did was taking over a struggling gaming company, Argosy Gaming, and turning it around. And I think one of the ways she was able to do that was she had a very hands-on approach. So she would go down to the casino floor, she would talk to customers, she would, be very interested in what they liked, what they didn't like, what they wanted to see, and found ways to really make it a better experience for customers, and thus made, casinos more successful. And someone who knew her from her time at Argosy, when the Isle of Capri CEO position became available, really lobbied for her to be interviewed for the position because they knew, what a great job she could do. And that's how that came to be about.
I was reading that Expletive Abroad, your great book, here in New Jersey at the perfect time, I think, because the big story that broke about a month and a half ago was that Caesars Entertainment named Jacqueline Gray Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Tropicana Casino in Atlantic City. Now, with that hire, it means that 4 of the 9 Atlantic City casinos were run by women, the other 3 being Melanie Johnson at the Borgata, Terry Glabaki at Ocean Resort, and Carrie Hall at Bally's. And that really made me think, because I was reading that section when I saw the news story break, and I was thinking, I was like, is New Jersey doing well in comparison to other states that have casinos? In your opinion, is that ratio or percentage keeping pace with other gaming markets across the country?
Oh, certainly. I think that's, great strides being made in New Jersey right now. But, this time with the pandemic, it's actually been a very challenging time for women in the workforce generally, in the gaming industry in particular. Where, gaming and hospitality is one of the industries that was very hard hit by the pandemic. And you look at some of the news stories coming out, talking about how this is having a outsized impact on women, that they're, leaving the workforce at, 4 times the rate that men are. So this makes it a very important time for women to be having these executive roles in the gaming industry and really keeping a hold of the progress that women have made in the gaming industry, to become these executives. But we also have to be very careful that we don't lose women at all levels of gaming, because, you're not going to be able to have women in these executive roles if you don't have the pipeline at the lower levels leading up to that. So, I think this is a great time for this book and the messages in the book about the importance of women in the gaming industry, and for gaming companies to really pay attention, to make sure they're continuing to feed that pipeline.
Well, I'm curious. You mentioned it. I mean, are there gaming companies right now doing more to promote women and diversity in the workplace, especially at the executive level?
There definitely are, gaming companies that are working very hard to do that. And some of that is, prompted by some of the women in my book, who have become executives and are doing a lot to help women. And the Global Gaming Women organization, I think, has played a very important role in promoting that throughout the years. MGM's always had they took an early stance, and Caesars as well, in making sure that this was a priority for them. You see places like, the Wynn, where, they were kind of in a lot of trouble when it came to, misogyny and how women were treated in that workforce not that long ago, as we all famously know, with the cases against Steve Wynn. And they've had a major turnaround in their representation of women on their board, and putting Ellen Whitmore, choosing her to be the general counsel for the Wynn. So, there's definitely companies in Las Vegas and in the gaming industry that are doing really good things in this area.
I want to ask you about the women who became the regulators who oversee the gambling activity in the state. And the one person I was going to bring up, you actually already brought up, Sandra Douglas Morgan. I found it amazing that a woman with such incredible knowledge of the gaming industry and gaming law, when the governor of Nevada called her up to be chair of the Nevada Gaming Control Board, she thought he was calling her to ask about the retirement of another board member, which I found that an absolutely mind-blowing story. I mean, tell us a little bit about Sandra Douglas Morgan.
She's incredibly smart, incredibly polished, but, one of the most modest people I've ever met. When I actually initially approached her at a Global Gaming Women event to interview her for the book, she was like, "Me? Are you sure?" She's like, "I've only been chair for less than a year. I haven't accomplished that much." And I had to tell her, Sandra, just by virtue of being the chair of the Gaming Control Board, the second female and the first African-American chair of the board, just by being you and being in that position, you've accomplished quite a lot for women in the gaming industry. But yeah, and then when I was interviewing her, she was talking about how she really preferred getting involved in the operation of being the board chair and the policy of it. And I pointed out how important it was for me personally as a woman in the industry to see her speaking at gaming conferences and to see her up there. As a role model and someone that, women could aspire to be was extremely important. And she said, I really never thought about that, how important it was for me to be there, to be in the room, to be up there speaking. So she said, I'm going to make sure that I focus on doing that a lot more, because throughout her experience, she had women, at the MGM that she worked with, for example, who were inspirational role models and positions and executive positions that she could look up to. And, she brought up the quote, you have to see it to be it. And I think that's very true. Plus, she had a great background, not only in gaming, but she went through what she called trial by fire when she was working as counsel for the city of North Las Vegas, and they were having, one of their worst fiscal crises ever. And she helped, work with the governor, work with the mayor of the city, and shepherding the city through, what was a time of crisis, to turn things around and become, a very successful city, put it on a road to success. So, and she's pointed out, after going through that at the city of Las Vegas, that was really my trial by fire. She overcame in her own life and career what is known as imposter syndrome. And I think that's something that women suffer from a lot more than men. And that's, thinking that you're not qualified to be there. You look around, you're like, why am I here? What do I know? Do I know anything? And, going through that experience really helped her to overcome that and have a lot more confidence moving forward which also helped her to be a great share.
You're listening to House of Cards on the Sportsmap Radio Network. Stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
With costs going up, Adam and Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry! You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260.
Hey, this is Dave Weishottle from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of September 25th, 2023. The U.S. commercial gaming industry set a new revenue record in July. According to the American Gaming Association, revenue hit $5.39 billion for the month, which is a new record. That figure also represents a 5.9% increase from July of last year. Police in Nevada have charged Brandon Rashad Johnson, who is a hotel operations manager at the Aria, with stealing from the casino. The police are alleging that Johnson stole more than $770,000 between July 2022 and July 2023 and used the money on shopping sprees, spa visits, private jets, and purchasing a house. And finally, Chicago's first casino opened. Bally's temporary gaming hall at the Medina Temple features 750 slot machines, 55 table games, a cafe, and 2 restaurants. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio. House of Cards is brought to you by the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Unlock your best self with the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Unlock your best self with the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. The Life Hack Pack contains 2 bottles of Morning Recovery, 2 bottles of Dreamwell, and 2 bottles of Liquid Focus. The Life Hack Pack is specially designed to help you live your life not just better, but smarter. Morning Recovery is designed to be taken while drinking or up to an hour after your last drink. Dreamwell is designed to be taken 30 minutes before you're ready to fall asleep. And Liquid Focus is designed to be taken 30 minutes before you have to lock in and get stuff done. Supercharge your productivity at home or work with the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Use promo code Radio15 at morelabs.com to get 15% off your first purchase of the Life Hack Pack or any of their other great products. That's promo code Radio15 to take advantage of this great promo of 15% off your first purchase at morelabs.com. The Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Drink smart with Morning Recovery, sleep easy with Dreamwell, and get more done with Liquid Focus. You can finally do it all with help from More Labs.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Whoa! I think we got a show. Oh, yeah, we got a show. We definitely got a show. Oh, yeah, there's a show. Hey, it's all about ratings, baby, and we got them.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishottle with you here. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with gaming attorney and author of That Expletive Broad, Jennifer Gaynor. You know, when we talk about the gambling industry, I mean, there are a bunch of branches within the industry itself. I mean, there's PR, there's player development, there's marketing. Are there areas in the gambling industry itself where women are really underrepresented to a point where companies should really be focusing on that area with regard to employment of women?
Sure, because, you know, if you look at the numbers, and this is something I talk about in my book, you know, where there might be, you know, 38% of women represented at the executive level, but you realize they're siloed into certain categories. For example, you know, you don't see a lot of women on the operational side. You don't see a lot of women on the floor. You don't see a lot of women in IT or security. You know, where you do see a lot of women are areas that are typically thought of as women industries, like human resources and marketing. So, you know, and I point out in the book, you know, for women, for themselves, taking a hold of their careers, you know, one of the things they can do is look for areas where there isn't a lot of representation by women, and ask, you know, their bosses to get them training in that area or to get experience in those areas. And that's something that companies can, you know, really look for and try to encourage as well.
You know, right now, the gambling industry, certain states are allowing sports betting and online gambling. I mean, certainly we don't have the complete numbers and the research right now with regard to employment demographics. But do you think those are the next areas of gambling that have to be looked at with regard to women and their impact on the sector of the industry?
Well, I think those are, you know, obviously growth areas for the industry. So it's, you know, extremely important for women to be involved there. You know, sports betting in particular has, you know, long time very much been a man's world.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you see women making strides and being represented there, like my friend Jennifer Roberts is, you know, counsel at the interactive gaming over at the Wynn, you know, I think that's very exciting, and you hope to see more of that.
Looking back at the women you documented in your book, That Expletive Broad, throughout history of the gambling in this country, has there been one characteristic that all these women had that allowed them to push forward in what was once a male-dominated industry? Because I found it very interesting, and you brought this up in the interview, that, you know, they did not set out to finally end up do what they're doing. I mean, a lot of the women and most of the women didn't think, hey, I'm going to own a casino. But what characteristic pushed them forward?
I think in most cases it's a few things, but you know, one of it is they were all extremely hardworking. You know, they were willing to put in the hours and the time. You know, I think Claudine Williams, who was a high school dropout, who ended up becoming the owner and operator of a Las Vegas Strip casino. You know, that's not a path you would ever see happening. But she worked really hard. She was very persistent. She asked for what she wanted. You know, for example, you know, when she was a teenager, she convinced the owner at a nearby, you know, gaming parlor that had opened up to hire her, and you know, and said that she had experience with dealing dice, which she didn't really, but you know, he bought it and brought her on, and she became the first female dealer at that club. And that's, you know, something she did throughout her career. Is, you know, she wasn't afraid to ask for what she wanted. She worked really hard to gain the experience and the knowledge that would make her a valuable asset. So, you know, persistence, curiosity, I think, you know, about the gaming industry and really wanting to do it, you know, love for the game. The early women, you know, Alice Ivers, Lottie Dino, they loved gambling. They loved poker. They loved playing, and they were very successful at it. So, you know, it's love for the game, it's love for the industry, it's persistence, and it's the willingness to be a first in an area, to be the first woman to be a dealer, to be, you know, perhaps not get a great reception from your colleagues. That was very important to many of their success.
Now, you're a very successful woman in the gambling business. What has it meant for you personally to research and write about the women who have come before you in this industry?
Well, first of all, it was incredibly inspiring. You know, because I knew there were great women out there, you know, many of whom I knew personally, you know, from my own experience working in the industry. to learn about some of the other women who I didn't know about, extremely inspirational for me in writing this book. But also, it's a really great networking tool, I have to say. If there are people that you look up to in the work world and you're not sure how to approach them, you know what? If you're going to interview them for an article or a book, that's a great tool. It gets you a conversation, it gets you an introduction, and, I highly recommend it.
Jennifer, we're running out of time, but I certainly want to get your opinion on the current state of the gambling industry with regard to the pandemic. Certainly, it's been one of the most challenging times for the industry. I mean, I got to tell you, as a fellow gaming attorney, I've never before now had to draft a service contract for the cleaning and sanitizing of casino chips, but it's a very weird time. How do you see the gambling? How do you see the gambling industry emerging from this?
I think it's going to emerge stronger than ever. The gambling industry, as you know, over the years has gone through, many different changes and iterations from, kind of the lounges and the card playing that was prevalent, back in the 50s and the early days, to, the onslaught of the large slot floors that really became the moneymaker for casinos in more recent years. And I think we're going to see a change away from that. And, what exactly that will be, I don't know. Will it be esports? Will it be online gaming? Different kinds of experiences that casinos can bring to the table. I think all of it's, really worth exploring. And sports betting, of course, now that PASS has been repealed, that's only going to continue growing across the country. So, I think the gaming industry, it's a dark time now. It's a difficult time now, but I think there's blue skies on the other side of the pandemic.
Jennifer, can you tell people how they can get a copy of your book, That Expletive Broad? And if you have a website or a social media address, you can give that out too.
Sure. You can find me on Facebook at Jennifer Gaynor or LinkedIn at Jennifer Gaynor. And the book is available on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. So if you just Google That Expletive Broad, you will be able to find it online.
Jennifer Gaynor, attorney and author of That Expletive Broad. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing the stories of these incredible women of gambling with us. It's an incredible book about the gambling industry. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about it.
Thank you so much for having me, Dave. I appreciate it.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards. More bets, better odds at PlaySugarHouse.com. Sign up today at PlaySugarHouse.com and don't forget to use our promo code HOUSE to take advantage of their first deposit match up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. You're listening to House of Cards on the Sportsmap Radio Network. Stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Welcome to another edition of Beating the House. I'm Doug Weishadow here with Dave Weishadow. We're going to be crisscrossing the country, sometimes the world, talking about some of the biggest jackpots that have happened in the casino and the lottery industries. If it's $100,000 or more, we will be talking about it on the show. Press releases, keep them coming in. Love hearing from the different properties out there, casino, lottery divisions, all that stuff. Keep them coming in. Love hearing from you guys. Going to start off this week in our normal location. We're back in Vegas starting off. We haven't started. Yeah,
we haven't started in Vegas in a long time.
No, it's been a while. But when the Venetian calls,
okay,
we're going to be starting at the Venetian, like that little segue was. We've got a $7 bet on Labor Day that created a new Buffalo millionaire.
Oh, one of those Buffalo games?
Yep.
All right.
As a matter of fact, it's a Buffalo multimillionaire.
Okay.
We have a $7 bet on the Buffalo Diamond Extreme game at the Venetian.
All right.
Paying off $2,158,526. It's the Grand Jackpot Progressive. It's called the Millionaire Progressive Jackpot for good reason.
Yeah, apparently. Boy, Buffalo has been in the news a lot lately.
Yeah,
I'm calling it Buffalo, but I'm sure they have like a brand name attached to it.
Aristocrat.
Yeah. Aristocrat Buffalo game has really been in the news. Would they start online in BetMGM?
BetMGM Casino.
Those properties and things like that? So
yeah, the BetMGM casinos.
Yeah.
They are the first
online.
ones to have the Buffalo online version. So, but Aristocrat's been in the news also for the NFL slots, too, that they've been releasing across the country. That's interesting. I want to see those games.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one yet on the casino floors.
Well, let's get back to the Buffalo. You've actually played the Buffalo online. How do you think?
I have played the
how
Buffalo.
Do you like it? What's your review of the Buffalo online game from BetMGM?
Well, I've never played the land-based one.
Okay. Okay. So that you don't have a lot to compare to.
No compare and contrast here. For me, it doesn't pay out as much as some of the other online slots.
Oh, okay.
But that could just be, there must be some kind of play trigger somewhere along the lines. You know, they're all set up where you actually do certain things and, you know,
I think you have to play more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a progressive.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't
there's
play.
a trigger.
I know we do stories of people playing for 5 minutes, but
Yes.
those are rare.
Yeah.
Those are rare. So
But I have to
guess
admit,
you got to dig into it and play
sound
a little
effects
more.
are cool.
Okay. Is it just like the buffalo snorting? And
Yeah, and there's music and everything else,
I've
yeah.
seen them on the gaming floor. I haven't
Yeah.
played it online yet.
But there's music and all that stuff.
Okay.
So they
All
did
right.
a nice job turning the land-based into the online game.
A lot of people make a lot of money on these buffalo
Yes.
machines, so I got to jump on that thing online and check it out.
And for what I understand, there are more versions of the online Buffalo game coming down
Okay.
the road.
All right.
So we may see the Buffalo Diamond Extreme, which is at the Venetian.
Okay,
we may see an online version of that maybe.
Since you have played it online, you're probably doing it in the reverse marketing, what they've been planning. You know, people who play it on the gaming floor will
Yes.
probably see it online and play it online.
Yeah.
You've never played it on the gaming floor, but you played it online.
Yeah.
Since you played it online, and if you see it when you go to a casino, do you see it on the gaming floor? Are you going to play it?
Let me put it this way, and this is how popular these Buffalo games are.
Okay.
If I see one open, yes.
Okay.
I've
All
yet
right.
to see a Buffalo game slot machine open on any of
Okay.
the on any gaming floors I've been to, whether it be Pennsylvania or over in Atlantic City. I have yet to see a Buffalo game not empty.
Okay. All right.
Brick
Well,
and
that's a
mortar,
good
I should
sign.
say.
That's a good sign.
Yes. Now, we're going to a location we don't really talk too much about in terms of the casino. We've had stories from their lottery before.
Okay.
And we've actually got one this week as well for their lottery.
Oh.
We're going to Maryland.
Okay.
Horseshoe Casino, Baltimore.
I don't remember a story on Beat the House.
First time for Horseshoe Casino.
Okay. All right.
We have an anonymous guest hitting the Mega Royal Flush Progressive on Ultimate Texas Hold'em for $1,017,041.33.
Wow.
They hit a Royal Flush in spades for the game to trigger the progressive jackpot.
Okay.
No word on the bet size.
All right.
I actually have never been to the Horseshoe Casino in Baltimore.
Never. I hear it's great. Everyone loves it. Everyone who's been there raves about it. So,
Well, it's a Caesars
and,
property.
and obviously the slots pay off.
Yes,
so,
especially the Mega
or
Royal
the
Flush
Texas
Progressive.
Hold'em. The Texas Hold'em.
The table games, yeah, the table games.
Yeah.
So, but again, you know, a Mega Royal Flush Progressive. That sounds so cool when you
Yeah,
say it that way. But $1,017,041.33. Congratulations to the guest who remained anonymous.
Okay.
Now we're going back out to Vegas. We've got 5 jackpots in Vegas in one weekend. Now, do you want me to do it chronologically, or do you want me to do it by?
Was it the long weekend? Was it the Labor Day weekend?
It was
it's an
the
extra
weekend.
day in the weekend.
It was the weekend of September 8th. Friday the 8th, Saturday the 9th, Sunday
okay.
the 10th.
Oh, okay. It wasn't the long weekend.
No. We have 3 on Friday night, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, well, let's...
You want to do chronologically?
Yeah,
or you want
sure.
to do, okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. We're going to start Friday, September 8th at 9 p.m. at the Flamingo, Las Vegas.
Okay.
Caesars Reward member won $375,087, hitting the Mega Progressive Jackpot on Let It Ride at Flamingo, Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we're going to go same night, 1 a.m. Friday, September 8th at 1 a.m. Or it could be the reverse. Maybe it's the reverse. Maybe it's Friday morning, 1 a.m., Saturday is the end of the Flamingo's the end of the Friday. I don't know. I don't know how you phrase those things.
Okay.
Friday, 1 a.m., same day. I would assume this is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reversing myself here. Don't mind me, I can't read a clock.
Okay.
Friday, 1 a.m., we have $125,000 on a slot machine win. No word on what the slots were.
And where was
this
at?
This was Caesar's Palace.
Caesar's Palace. Okay.
Then we have Friday, it's September 8th, 5 a.m. at Caesar's Palace.
5 a.m., huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
$100,000 playing video poker.
Wow. What a good way to start your day, huh?
Then
5 a.m., huh?
Then we have the Friday, September 8th at 9 p.m.
Okay.
So that's the last one when we just talked about that, $375,000 and the Let It Ride poker.
Okay.
If I ever learned to read a clock, I could have done that better.
Okay.
Then,
where was the 5 a.m. one at?
The other ones were at Caesar's Palace.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Then we have Saturday, September 9th at 11 p.m. We have a $125,000 jackpot playing slots.
Okay.
So we've got all those going along. And then we have 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. This is the final one of the weekend.
All right.
The Golden Nugget Las Vegas. We've never had a Golden Nugget one either, by the way.
Really?
We've
Okay.
never had a Golden Nugget one.
What, have we had a Golden Nugget Atlantic City?
Yes, we've had Golden
Okay,
Nugget
but
Atlantic City.
Never Golden Nugget Las Vegas.
Yep.
Okay.
We have a visitor from Texas. The way the release was worded, it sounds like it was their first visit to Las Vegas from Texas.
Okay.
Was playing Ultimate Texas Hold'em at Golden Nugget and hit the mega progressive jackpot for $529,472.
Wow. Great.
So that's a memorable trip to Vegas.
I mean, what a big weekend in Vegas. So,
Yes.
and by the way, you're cutting it off at 100,000. There could have been other jackpots in Vegas for, a lot like less than 100,000. We're just not reporting on them because we'd be reporting here all day. But
there were a couple $90,000
what
ones too. So,
wow, really?
yeah.
What a weekend in Vegas, man.
Just that's all in one weekend.
And that wasn't even the holiday weekend. That was the weekend after the holiday weekend.
The $2 million one that we started the show off with, that was Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
So that was a good Labor Day weekend for
All
that
right.
person.
That was the Venetian, right?
That was the Venetian.
Okay.
Now, we're going out to another new casino for us on the segment.
Okay.
Indian Head Casino in Warm Springs, Oregon.
Oh, okay. I
leave it to the Googlers out there to find Warm Springs, Oregon.
Okay.
We have an unidentified guest, not an anonymous guest, an unidentified guest. I'm assuming that means anonymous. That's what the release said.
An unidentified guest.
I'm assuming it's...
Sounds like a UFO kind of thing.
Exactly.
An unidentified guest.
And we have Aristocrat Gaming paying out on the... What is it now? The Dollar Storm slot machine.
Okay.
$161,413.
I've actually heard of that.
The Dollar Storm?
Dollar Storm.
Yes.
I think we've had it on this segment before.
Actually, you know where we always get a Dollar Storm jackpot more than any other place is the Rampart Casino, which is over in Summerlin, Nevada.
Yeah, right out. I guess it's outside of Vegas.
Yes. But this is Aristocrat Gaming. The exact payout, again, $161,413. No word on the bet size. Mm-hmm. But we do have an unidentified guest.
Unidentified guest. An interesting way to put that in a press release.
I know. Well, hey, what are you going to do?
Usually they just say an anonymous guest or a guest who chose to be anonymous.
It could have just been written really quickly and sent out. Who knows?
Unidentified. Okay.
But this was Labor Day weekend, so the guy probably was working from home at the time, writing the press release. Yeah. Who knows? We're going out to the East Coast again. Now we're going out to Philly.
All right.
Got Live Casino Philly. We got a pair of jackpots recently.
Love that place. Great poker room, too. Really nice.
Crystal Star Deluxe slot machine. No word on the bet size.
I have no clue what that
I've never seen it before.
I've never heard of it, never seen it before. Okay.
$126,148. Mm-hmm. And then we have on the same day on the Lightning Link high stakes slot machine.
I've heard of those.
By the way, the Lightning Link high stakes slot machine, you don't see that too often.
Okay.
They have a little area of high limit slots in Live Casino.
Okay.
Philly. $103,964.
Wow. Good.
Now we're going to start some lottery stories. We got a whole run of lottery stories here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 3.
Okay.
Virginia Lottery. We have Ricky. That's all was quoted in the press release. Ricky had 38 pick 4 tickets, each with some variation of 6, 3, 0, and 5. They all cashed. $122,800.
Wow. So that's one of those. I guess it's that lottery strategy that I'm going to buy a whole bunch of the same numbered tickets, right? Is that what he did?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Still don't get. I guess it works.
Well, you know what?
I don't know.
This is different.
I just figure, if you're going to buy 38 tickets, you might as well, do different numbers, give you a better chance of winning. Apparently, I've been doing lottery all wrong all these years. So, I guess I should get a whole bunch of lottery tickets with the same number on them.
Well, let me tell you, he did a variation. He did the variation of 6305. He probably boxed it.
Okay, well,
or whatever the phrasing they use
nowadays. Well, look, if those numbers are special to him, well, if they're not special, they're special now.
Exactly.
So good for him or her. No idea what Ricky is.
Well, it's R-I-C-K-E-Y. So I don't know. That further complicates the matter.
If Ricky was with an I, would we assume female? Are we assuming male here with an E-Y? Or if it was an I, it'd be a woman, right? I guess.
You got me.
I don't know. All right. Well, hey, congratulations, Ricky.
Yeah. We're going out to Colorado now. And we have a winner here with a very, very interesting name. It sounds like something out of the Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or something. Voldemort Tash.
Wow, nice. I like that.
Voldemort Tash.
I wish I had a name like that.
Goes by the nickname Bud.
When you have such a great name like, what was it?
Voldemort
Tash. I'd be using that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'd be referring to myself in the third person.
Voldemort Tash.
I know. I love that name.
Well, Voldemort.
Seriously, it's such a great name.
Well, Voldemort, or Bud, however you want to refer to him.
Or Bud, okay.
Was on a backpacking trip when all this happened.
Okay.
He bought a Colorado Lotto Plus ticket, went on his backpacking trip. When he came home, he found out that he had won the jackpot, $5,067,041.
Wow. That's incredible. Boy. I guess it's one of those things, I guess you're not going to bring a lottery ticket with you camping or hiking or whatever he was doing. So I guess he left it home, and then luckily he had the good sense to check it out, because we had stories where people have held on to it for months and didn't know they won because they didn't check. And good for Voldemort.
Well,
did I pronounce his name right?
Voldemort. Yes.
Voldemort Tash.
Cool name.
I know. I love that name.
He took the lump sum.
Okay.
$2.5 million.
Yep.
Out of the $5 million. That's a huge chunk taken out there.
Well, yeah. Well, hey, that's one of those things you have to figure out. Anytime you win the lottery and you get a chance to take the lump sum or like spread it out over an annuity or something like that, you kind of have to talk to an accountant or a lawyer or a financial planner, because depending on what state you're in, I mean, there could be a big chunk of taxes taken out depending on what you do with the money and how you receive the money. So, yeah.
Well, when he went to the Colorado Lottery and collected his money, he made his first purchase as a multimillionaire.
Okay.
He bought a ripe watermelon.
Good.
And some flowers for his wife. Nothing says congratulations like a ripe melon.
That's awesome. Just celebrate with a melon.
Yes.
That's a good melon.
He's a very simple person, he said.
Okay. Well.
Then he adds this: I'm going to go buy another classic car and add to my collection.
Oh, okay. Well.
He's simple person. I have a classic car collection.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, okay, good. Good for him.
So, like I said, watermelon, flowers, classic car.
Perfect. Hey, you know what? That's
the trifecta.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I like that story.
Great story. Very cool name.
Yeah.
Voldemort Tash.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's it for this week's Beating the House. Congratulations to all our winners. Again, we only do $100,000 or more, so congratulations to those winners. There's plenty more winners out there. Congratulations to everybody, especially Voldemort Tash, with the coolest name in the world for a lottery winner. Press releases, keep them coming in. We'll keep doing this segment.
Well, that'll do it for us this week. I'll see you next time on House of Cards.
Across the desert plain, build a house of cards.